And here we are. Welcome to the Real Teacher Talk podcast with Mr. Nunez here at Mace's. We have a very distinguished guest here, Mayor Lara. Thank you for being here. Appreciate your time.
No, thank you for having me. I really appreciate being here and be part of this.
Cool. So listen, this podcast was inspired by my students, and you know, I'm trying to connect our experience as teachers with their future. And I always like to ask, you know, what was your educational experience like?
It was an interesting one. It was. I'm actually an immigrant from Mexico, so I was born in Mexico and brought here as a little kid. So definitely English was my second language, you know. And so growing up academically, I wasn't the brightest or the best student, you could say. But really just, you know, I love this concept of podcast because it reflects really what helped me graduate high school, what helped me get through high school was a teacher.
So that teacher, I don't know, did you guys spend time, I don't know, interacting, obviously building some type of relationship, which I think a lot of our students do with our teachers. So what was that like, or who was that specific teacher?
Yeah, well, for me, actually, I joined theater in my sophomore year. It was actually that teacher, Mr. John Abitafi, Mr. A, we used to call him.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, he actually started in our school my sophomore year as an English teacher, the subject I hate the most. Something a lot of people don't know, I'm actually partially dyslexic. So for me, English and reading and all that stuff, I used to really just hate it. And so when I had this teacher, I saw something different. You know, he was attentive. He would talk to me. He would talk to all of us, and we found out that he was also going to be our drama teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were actually reading Romeo and Juliet and Shakespeare, and I'm like, man, this is just like out of my league. Like, this is over my head.
Especially Shakespearean dialogue. Yeah. Oh, that's the worst.
Exactly. So, but no, he made it fun. He made it engaging, and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna start doing a play. Let's get some people going. And I got involved, and I got involved a lot with theater. I became, you know, a big drama. I like to consider myself a drama geek, in a sense. But I also played football. I played sports. I did wrestling. But that was just like my go-to, just next to him, you know. And the connection we had with Mr. A was amazing.
So can I ask, did you perform, or were you part of the backstage, you know, crew or something like that?
I did both. I was doing the performing.
Cool.
I did the performing.
You did a little acting then, huh?
Yeah. So
what particular part?
Well, here's the fun part. You know, as in theater, you get a nickname.
Uh-huh.
You know, we became thespians, which is a society for actors, and you get a nickname. My nickname was Rock.
Uh-huh.
Not The Rock, nothing like him.
Right.
Just Rock. And the reason why is the very first role I had was we did Wizard of Oz.
Mm-hmm.
And I played an actual live Rock. So on the actual script for the theater, there's a scene where they go over a bridge and the bridge rotates. When Dorothy's trying to pass over into, you know, another area of Wizard of Oz and all that. And there's a rock there that makes her trip. He moves and makes her trip. So I was that rock. That was my role. So that was my debut as in theater there, and that name stuck for me throughout high school. Right, even a lot of my close friends now that from, you know, the theater world,
they remember that.
They still call me Big.
Hey, probably one of the most important parts in that scene was that, right? The particular rock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that's the great part about drama or any type of production. It's that teamwork, right? Mm-hmm. And I think you experiencing that, now this is me from a teacher's perspective, allowing you to come out of your shell, being accepted, you know, being able to show some of your strengths, right? Mm-hmm. Whether it's being able to trip somebody or just working on a, you know, on a production, right? I think that's the best part of all this for me. So, hey, thanks to that teacher, Mr. A.
Yeah. Well, one thing, I picked up a lot of things throughout life that I even use today that he taught us. And with that role, and it's a saying in the theater industry, is that there's no small role, only small actors.
Hey.
And when you reflect that into life, you know, there's no small roles in our lives, positions, what we're doing. There's only small actors, and in that sense, we got to make the most of everything. Once we do and give it our all, we shine. We shine as an individuals in our life, in education, in our school, in the sport, just by trying hard and really doing your best. You might not be the MVP or the main actor, Grammys, you know, getting all this stuff, but you know, or you know, it's just you got to do your best, right? And that was one of the things I picked up from that, you know.
That's so cool. Yeah. So I hope we can get more kids to do a little bit more, you know, production work and drama. Eventually, I think we'll do that here. So we have a wealth of talent here that I just can't wait to continue to see grow. So from there, obviously, you got into I don't know. At what point did you transition into like politics, or you know, did you see that need? Because you're pretty young, man. Are you like one of the youngest mayors ever or something? Or,
no, there's actually younger. There's someone under 20.
20?
Under 20, yeah, that became mayor of the city. Here locally, too. I forgot where.
That's,
yeah, well, I'm 36. Really what got me into politics was really the community. I love, one thing by heart, myself, my family, my wife, my two kids, we're public servants by heart, right? So we love helping in our community, and we were really involved in our community here in Maywood. And I used to volunteer in other schools as well. Before I volunteer a lot in our community. We were part of a nonprofit, and so we did a lot of community work. And being the way things were in our city here with politics and corruption, the community was asking for change, right? And someone to step up. And one of the things that we find out here a lot in our Southeast community, in our Latino community, is not too many people want to step up to take that leadership role. I didn't want to. I'll be honest with you. I didn't actually finish college, to be honest.
Okay.
I didn't study for politics or anything like that. I'm more of a business. I went for business major. I love business. You know, I love entrepreneurship. And so that's my goal too, right? That's my passion. Politics is definitely not that, right? And so, but I saw really the need. I saw how much it would be great to be able to help in a different capacity. And just the community stepping up and telling me, hey, you should run. I gave so many no's until finally I gave that one yes. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah. You know, I sat down and talked to my wife, and you know, of course, my partner, you know, we have to do things together, right? And it's teamwork, being in something like this. And yeah, we agreed onto it and ran.
Man, well, congratulations. And I think you have started to, you know, make a difference here in Maywood. I know every time someone comes in, they always bring in, you know, some new, fresh ideas. So I don't know if you have anything like you could share with our students or community as far as what's happening here in Maywood. I know you mentioned your nonprofit. So, you know, something new, exciting for Maywood that you could share with us.
Well, I mean, one thing that we've focused a lot throughout these years that I've actually been in office for about 2.5 years now is one of my visions was to change the leadership inside City Hall, right? So we've done a lot of that, and with that, like you mentioned, comes with new ideas. Bringing up new ideas, new things. We have a council with different perspectives, different ideas of things. So we're definitely working a lot of it, but right now we're doing a lot of troubleshooting, right? A lot of working on fixing a lot of things that we needed to fix in our city to be able to move on forward. But yeah, it's something exciting. We're working on definitely a lot of projects. I can't say too much because we're still in the works, but I could probably give a little hint that we've been in the works of redoing our baseball field in Maywood Park. And so that would definitely, if all goes well, we'll definitely have a lot more programs, a lot more accessibility to our baseball field, and having a much better experience in our games. And I know our high school students here in Mesas use our field, and it's going to be exciting for the community.
I can't wait. Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
So.
Yeah, for the local community.
Yeah.
Right. So listen, this year has been tough. I know you probably heard a lot of stories about families being challenged this whole year. I had this one student in particular. Let me just tell you how resilient our families are. And this one particular student, I don't know if you remember, we had like power outages right? They would usually just happen, you know, midday or whatever. I'm assuming there's just a lot of people at home using a lot of devices and, you know, appliances, and it's going to happen, right? But let me just tell you about the student and the resiliency. So her power went out and something happened, they couldn't fix it. So she was zooming on her phone for like a whole week, and it's like toward the end of the semester, so she has to do her assignments and she's turning them in on her phone. And again, mind you, no electricity, so she had to run to the neighbors to charge her phone, right? And this young lady, man, I think she needs to run for mayor of Maywood when she gets old enough, right? Claudia Gamino is her name, and I just want to give her props for, you know, for dealing with that situation so valiantly, right? And with such resilience. So I don't know if you could say a couple of words to her, give her a shout out, but at the same time, you know, the importance of that, that resiliency.
Yeah, it's amazing, right? To hear about a student like Claudia, right? And she didn't give up.
No.
It's so easy to just say, you know what, nothing works, I can't do this, or come up to your teachers or the school and say, you know what, can you give me a pass, you know, and just do that. But honestly, yeah, you know, and that's what we need. We need leadership like that. We need individuals like Claudia to help us with this, you know, and I'm pretty sure with that, her creativity of try to just be resilient and continue class and even turn in assignments. We need more of that, right? And I applaud that, and actually that's inspiring.
It was,
you know,
for me it was
inspiring. Hopefully inspires more to be like her. You know?
So then were you, like, for students like that, like I get some students who are really, really motivated, socially justice minded individuals. That's meaning that we have a nice high school group of students here. Is there anything that you recommend for them to get involved? You know, because you said we're all small actors, and these young people, you know, I can picture some of them getting involved. What do you recommend as far as getting involved in the community for them?
Yeah, you know, just being part of any resource, right? Your community means what, right? So you got to think about that. Let's define that a little bit. Your school, community of school, right? Find that niche that you really like first. Whether it was your school, something with it, maybe your sport, you know, get together, do something, you know, along with that, of course, your city. A lot of the students here in Mesas, I know they don't all live in Maywood. Let's go ahead and go to whatever city you're from, right? And invite your friends, invite your colleagues to come and do something that you feel that needs a little bit of that change, right? Just being involved in really just helping out your community, whether it's here, a church, school, you know, cleanups, just getting together, maybe even doing like this, you know, talking and podcasts. You know how many people really need this conversations? That's being community. That's about community, right? And doing it. And I invite everyone to kind of get creative on that. And we have a lot of creative students here. And think about that. Think outside the box. Not just thinking about, you know, the basic stuff. Of course, yeah. I do a lot of community cleanups. I love it. I take my 4-year-old, my 8-year-old, since even they were little babies, to do them. But think about what else can you do to help out.
Right. So I don't know if we have some students that might have a question, a quick question. Oh, come on. Oh, we have some students that are going back to class right now. So I was hoping they can ask a question or two. I don't know.
Any curiosity to
Natalie,
hear?
Any questions you might want to ask before we leave? The microphone's over there if you want to quickly ask a question. Just something real quick. Anything. Oh, Natalie, come on. I know I'm putting you on the spot. She's our director and asking questions. No. Ask him if he sings, because I know you like to sing. No.
Anything about school?
Anything? Yes. School.
Less homework.
Huh?
Less homework.
Did you have a lot of homework? I guess that'd be the question. Did you have a lot of homework?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It was always homework, but yeah, somehow, you know what, being involved in sports and theater, it really helped me push on through, right? You know, you got to get it done.
Yeah.
So you can be able to play, right? So you can be able to
Yeah.
act. How many times did I get in trouble and we were about to have opening day in a theater show and my teacher's telling me, like, you know what, you can't go if you don't turn in that assignment.
Oh,
You know, and it's like, all right, you got to do it, you know, and that's kind of life, right? Even as a grown up, right? Whatever you do in work wise, you know, you got to find some passion, some heart behind it, so you could be able to get through the other things that you don't like homework, right? You know, those are things that just kind of pass by, right? Let's just get them done. And when you come in with that, with your passion and looking at something else above that, you end up doing that with passion. You end up doing that with intention. And when you have intention, you do so much more. You can surprise yourselves.
true. And that's something that I've been inspired to do with this little podcast because of my students. They're the ones that kind of brought it to my attention that it's an opportunity to have these conversations, right? Which is just, that's all it is. A podcast is just a conversation, a recorded conversation. Well, I think we're good now. Appreciate your time, Mayor, and hopefully we can have you back for some other events. And please feel free to reach out to our community, our students, right? If you have anything that you would like to get us involved with, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be reaching out to you. All right.
Definitely. And I want to give a shout out to all the students that have been helping out. You know, we've had food distribution throughout the pandemic.
That's true.
A lot of the Mesa students and different students from different areas have been coming out and helping us out, distribute food to home, you know, to our homes, actual people coming over. You know, cleanups. We just recently had a riverfront cleanup that we had a lot of Mesa students come out. I think 2 different clubs came out to help us out. You know, and I really want to applaud that and want to invite everyone else to please come out and be part of that. You know, it's nice to see the youth along with us old people, you know, clean up and get together for the same purpose, right? And make that big difference. So I want to give a shout out to that. Thank you.
All right. Well, we'll do our part, and you
Yeah,
continue to do your part, sir.
Will
All
do.
right. Appreciate
Thank
you coming out here.
Appreciate it.
Thank you
for having me.
All right. We're good.